Mayor Jyoti Gondek in Calgary spends $2.2 million on artwork while other people are struggling to pay their bills. Let's get into it.
Oh, yeah!
What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to The Fringe. Happy Friday, and I hope you're having a wonderful day today. People in Calgary aren't having a wonderful day because this article I need to touch down on today talks about Mayor Jyoti Gondek and her ridiculous levels of spending that have come into the city of Calgary and plagued this city. Artwork has always been a hot topic in this city because both her and Nahid Nenshi, who took their time to obliterate our city in terms of virtue signaling, have constantly spent high levels of money when it comes to artwork. We have our infamous giant blue ring that's at the front of our city in the northeast section of town, I should say, which cost roughly $500,000. We have our Peace Bridge that was brought in from overseas that connects to downtown. And while it's a beautiful bridge, the price tag was quite hefty during Dave Broncagne's days as mayor. But now this one takes the cake. And again, we'll get into a little bit of why I'm running for mayor in the next city election. As Jyoti Gondek, article comes out saying $2.25 million public art sculpture coming to downtown Calgary. 51,000 kilogram steel installation to be shipped from the UK. Now, I want to touch base on why I'm running for mayor before I get into this article, and it's because of things like this. I have said right from the get-go that some of the things that Alberta has is that works for its side is innovation. We have bright minds here. We have talent in Alberta. So why is it every time we do a piece of artwork, we are paying handfists of money over to places like Sweden, the UK, Germany, to have all these artworks done and shipped over to our country so that, we can try and dress something up. And as you see, it comes with a price tag, $2.25 million, while people in this city have their taxes raised every single year. And they're always told, well, we have to pay for infrastructure. We have to make up for the fact that COVID did so much damage to businesses. We have a train line to build. The problem in Calgary, the problem that we're seeing is that we're at record highs in terms of crime. Nothing's being done about that. $2.25 million could go a long way in fighting the crime in this city by hiring more police officers. We saw this earlier this year as Premier Danielle Smith had to step in and bring in police in order to do Jyoti Gondek's job for her. Because she refused to even acknowledge the issue. Of course, we see the infamous video of Cian Bexley asking her a question about why Danielle Smith had to step in and her virtue signaling. And of course, Jyoti Gondek stepped away from the microphone, not answering his questions. We've seen with Jyoti Gondek and her woke policies push people away in terms of her approval rating. I believe she's below 25% now in terms of a city approval rating. But what really gets me is that these charges that come to the city and its people, especially during a time when interest rates are at their all-time high, carbon taxes at an all-time high, people can't afford to fill their cars with gas just to get to work. I don't know if you've ever been to Calgary or if you've seen like parking rates in this town or if you've ever seen the cost of a utility bill or groceries. While Alberta is one of the provinces that taxes people the fewest, Calgary is definitely one of these cities where it's a boom bust city. In the mid 90s, when I first moved to Calgary, it was very much a money town. People used equity to buy boats. They dipped into funds or were, powerful engineers who made six-figure incomes at the time that say, well, we're going to go on vacation twice a year, buy a big house, have all the toys. It's very much been a money city. But the attitude in Calgary is always, well, people can just pay for it. And this is a slap in the face at a time when people just can't manage and they can't get by. I find it very disgusting, to be honest. It's almost in comparison to a person who has maybe $2,000 in a bank account and their spouse comes home and says, I just went and bought a brand new TV. You'd be sitting there saying, well, we got bills to pay, right? And there's things we have to address. You can't go out and buy luxuries when we're suffering, and that's what's happened here. I want to get into this article, and then we'll discuss a little bit more. A $2.25 million public art piece is in the works for the grounds of Calgary's expanded Bank of Montreal Centre. Calgary Municipal Land Commission, or Corporation, sorry, and the Calgary Stampede announced Wednesday that a large-scale public artwork at the BMO Centre's new plaza will be produced by UK artist Jerry Judah. The steel sculpture is called The Spirit of Water and will stand about 21 meters or 70 feet and weigh 50,800 kilograms. Nobody cares. The BMO Center in Stampede Park is undergoing a major expansion and is slated to open in time for Stampede 2024. The convention center will feature exhibition halls, a grand foyer, and two massive ballrooms, about 50,000 and 20,000 square feet, which will become the biggest and second biggest in Alberta. This is something I've always noticed about Calgary, is that, again, when I first moved here, there was all this talk, oh, this is the largest in Western Canada. This is the biggest thing in Western Canada. I don't know why that's always like a goal for Calgary, but it seems to be always what they're looking to do. This installation will be a focal point of the BMO Center Outdoor Plaza, set to be twice the size of Olympic Plaza. The Spirit of Water is being fabricated in the United Kingdom and will be shipped to Calgary and installed with the support of Heavy Industries. Again, this is where I'm saying, like, I'm gonna reflect back again. So a lot of my viewers aren't from Calgary. But back again, late 90s, we had an art project in this city where, because we're called Cowtown, and again, I'm assuming that's linked to the Stampede, there were a bunch of cow statues, probably somewhere about 5.5 feet tall, or five to 5.5 feet tall, that art students painted in different themes, and they were put all around the city, and it was kind of like a treasure hunt to go looking for these things, take pictures of them. It went viral. It was this big deal, and when it was all done, the statues, to my knowledge, were sold off to charity. Now, I know some businesses that bought those statues. I've seen that they still have them on display. An art piece like that showcases Calgary's talent. And it also is a way to get people interested in the art around Calgary. These virtue signaling, like if you look at this sculpture, it's just like a splash of water with a large pole out of the top of it at $2.2 million. I don't understand why this is necessary. I don't understand. They say beauty's in the eye of the beholder. I don't see any beauty in this. I mean, it's neat looking, but it's not $2.2 million that we had to spend to showcase somebody else's work from across the ocean, when we could have gone to our arts design schools and asked, students to maybe come up with ideas, showcase some local talent, get their names on something that they can be proud of, and at a significantly less price. I'm not saying we could get, a 700-foot sculpture or whatever they're talking, 70 foot, sorry, 700. Could you imagine? 70-foot sculpture. But we could definitely showcase some of Alberta's talent. And this is the problem that I have with the mayor, is that this is nothing more than a ridiculous reason to recklessly spend money. The biggest problem here is that, and part of the reason that I want to run for mayor, is this is $2.2 million of wasted money as far as I'm concerned. This building that you see in the background, this is part of this convention center, and it's very unique looking on its own, that you didn't need this giant blue puddle in front of it. The building definitely is a sign of advanced engineering. I think that the building itself is a piece of art. You didn't need $2.2 million wasted on this, but it makes me question, how many more millions of dollars are wasted on studies? How many more millions of dollars are wasted on overstaffing and under policies, that underlying policies that don't benefit our citizens? I'm going to have Marty up north on the channel here very shortly to discuss these things as a citizen. I mean, he lives just outside of Calgary, but he's still a citizen of Calgary, and I always like getting his take. But again, part of the reason I'm running for mayor is because I'm a local citizen. I'm not a politician. This is a politician. This is what politicians are doing to our city. They're running amok. They're spending money they shouldn't be spending. You think about all the starving families in Calgary right now that are outside freezing because they can't find anywhere to live. They can't pay their bills. They can't get by. $2.2 million buys a lot of meals, or could build $2.2 million could probably help build a facility to house some of these people during the winters, like a shelter or something else. Um, and that's the problem here. Wasted money. How much money could we give back to taxpayers if we just canceled these unnecessary projects and gave the surplus back to people? And I know people are going to say, well, it's $2.2 million. There's $1.6 million in Calgary. That's not a lot of money back. Well, but if you cut most, like if you go through and kind of trim the fat, so to speak, there could potentially be savings for a lot of people. The budget was guided by City of Calgary's policy for funding, acquisition, and management of public art in Calgary. It includes all fees, expenses, fabrication costs, delivery, and installation. Calgary failed Mayor Jyoti Gondek said she thinks such pieces are an important step towards amplifying Calgary's downtown cultural arts and entertainment identity. How does this say anything about culture? I'm asking anybody who's into artwork, who knows about public art. Again, it's in the eye of the beholder, but I don't see how this is $2.2 million of something we needed. Here's her quote. I think pieces like this are finally starting to demonstrate that if you want to be a city that people feel welcomed in, that people want to visit, that people are proud to live in, it requires the beauty of public art, she says. So here it is, when she says a people that city feel welcomed in. This is typical liberal taglines of, oh, it's diverse. Oh, it's not misogynistic. It's not these isms. I'm so sick and tired of it. Judah has created many public artworks over his career, including large-scale pieces for festivals, museums, and public realms in the UK, United States, New Zealand, and United Arab Emirates. I'm happy for him, but this isn't something we needed. He said he was drawn to the project because of the dramatic space created by the BMO Center. What about the space created in everybody's bank account? For me, that needed a very dramatic response. I wanted to make something that had an international and important statement, so I chose water as a central theme because of its enormous power and universality, he said. It further remains as one of the most important elements of nature, and one that continues to hold its importance both as a physical object and symbolic representation over your various universal concepts, blah, 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 blah. It's, you know what, you want to show Calgary's potential? You want to show what Calgary's behind? We have a team that's called the Flames for a reason. We're an oil and gas town. Our downtown right now has the highest vacancy rate it's ever had because all the businesses have been run out. Again, the streets are littered with people who can't afford to feed themselves, who can't afford to live in sheltered home, who can't even so much as find a decent paying job. And this is her answer. This is Jyoti Gondek's answer. $2.2 million. Ludicrous. I'm sorry, guys. It's been a rambling video. Again, it gets to me because again, it's reasons like this that I stood up and said I'm running for mayor. I'm not putting up with this shit anymore. Enough is enough. We need to start spending money like a household on a budget, not like a liberal with an open bank account and trust fund. And that essentially is the problem here. Let me know what you guys think down below in the comments. What do you think of the art? Is this art or is it unnecessary? Let me know what you guys think down below. If it's your first time here, make sure when you're hitting that subscribe button to turn on your bell for notifications. YouTube has been telling me that only a handful of people, under 100, have been notified when our videos are dropping. I'm not sure if it's a shadow ban or what's happening in the algorithm, but make sure you turn on your bell for notifications so that you can be hopefully notified whenever our new videos drop. We always have content on the channel from Monday to Friday, as well as our streams on Sunday nights at 6:30 p.m. Pacific time, where we go over everything that's happened in the week. We talk about everything coming up in the week ahead and have a little bit of backfire Q&A with my community. Speaking of community, we also have a new Discord that you can feel free to come and join. You can meet up with us in there after the live streams for about an hour or so, where I'll hang out and we can talk about everything you guys want to talk about in our open Discord. And we had a really good launch last week. I'm hoping to see more new faces in there this week, and I look forward to seeing each and every one of you after that stream Sunday night. I hope you guys enjoyed this video and have a great weekend. I'll catch you on the next one.